How's it going, everybody? I hope everybody is doing good. We're gonna be listening to some transmissions from the future. We're gonna look at Mulakio oil rig. Clayton Incorporated oil rig. Bay Marine construction platform. What a piece of junk. Site supervisor Virgil Hamilton. Date 2158 6 4. Description: in accordance with the Clayton Industry Regulations, I am exacting my union rights to petition against unlawful work environments. Following and including the current log, please contact my union representative immediately.
They done fucked up. They done fucked it up. I have reached the end of my fucking rope. I have reached the end, and it is highly apparent at this point that the company that I work for wanted me to hang myself with this rope, but I am not gonna fucking fall for that shit. I am done. That's it. I am done. So I was informed a couple weeks ago that we were going back down to half a crew. This is after they just hired on about 30 people. They hired on 30 people, and I knew this was a bad scenario from the beginning. I kept saying, why are we hiring all these people? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the days off. I enjoy my time off, I do. And the fact that I've been getting a full 50 hours a week plus has been a boon to my wallet. It really has been. And I've been saving up a lot. And now I am glad that I haven't spent a lot, because now I had this gut feeling that something like this was on the horizon. And lo and behold, I was right. So here we are. 2 weeks ago, I'm getting off work. It's late. I'm getting ready to go to bed. My face hits the pillow. All of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. It's the boss. He's telling me, "Oh, we're going to half shift, half crew now. What shift do you want?" And he gave me 2 options. I chose a particular option based on the hours that I wanted to work. I cannot do the current hours that I'm doing anymore. I didn't want to do them in the first place, but picking otherwise impeded my ability to become a supervisor. And I've wanted this position for a long time now. I knew that I could do it. I was a little bit skeptical on my own abilities at first, but I knew that I wanted to do it. And once I got into the role, I realized this is something that I want to continue doing. I like being a supervisor, and I realize now that I'm capable. That being said, after he gives me he's like, "Okay, well, we'll put you on that shift." And then I started thinking about what he had said. I'm like, wait a minute. You said I'm on shift with such and such. And I knew this person was a supervisor on his shift. Actually, both the people from the 2 different shifts he had offered me were supervisors. People that I would be partnered with. Which got me to thinking, who's going to be the supervisor if both the people from the shifts you're mentioning were previous supervisors of their own shifts before we go down to half? Oh, well, you're going to be a partner. What? Yeah, that's a good joke. No, seriously, who's going to be the shift supervisor? Yeah, you're gonna be a regular worker. You've got to be fucking kidding me. And both of these people, well, one of them was with the previous company, but he wasn't a supervisor back then. He was being trained as one. He had only been with the company, my previous company, before this new one. He'd only been with the previous company for about a month before this whole thing went down. The other person just fucking got hired. Given their experience in other work related to the field was greater than my own, but they had only been working for this company for a month. And now I get overlooked, and they're going to tell me that I have to be a regular worker, just a regular Joe Schmo general laborer, after I've been a supervisor. And not to mention that I've been a supervisor for about 3 months, actually, well, 5 months now. Spotless record, no complaints. What the fuck? What did I do wrong? I did my job, I did it well, I showed up on time. There was no complaints, I didn't damage the equipment. I did everything that was expected of me. I've been here for 2 fucking years working the site, and yet I'm gonna be overlooked by a person that has been with this job site for only 3 months, and another person that has only been here for 2 months. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, I was told that it was gonna be temporary. Oh, we're supposed to be going back up to full crew in a couple months. I want to see that shit written down in paper. You don't go from paying me what I'm making right now to paying me $4 an hour less. I don't want to hear that shit. But it gets better. I'm supposed to bend over backwards to get some training required by the new company. And I started the training a couple weeks ago. They gave me some days off so that I could do the training. And then a couple weeks from now, I'm supposed to go and complete the training with another training company so I can get certified. And the beautiful thing is, they lock you into this shit. They say, well, we'll pay for it as long as you work for us for X amount of time. Which I sort of understand, but on the same note, it's like, why am I going out and getting this training when it's not going to affect how much I'm going to get paid? They only need one person on the site to get qualified with this. And already both of the people that I'm mentioning have their qualifications in this area. So what is the point of me bending over backwards to get this qualification when they know damn well that I'm not going back to being a supervisor anytime soon? Yeah, let me bend over backwards to get this qualification. You know what? I got a better idea. I'll get this qualification, and then on top of the other 3 qualifications I'm getting that you don't know about, I'll go out and get a job that's going to pay me twice as much tomorrow, next week. Already got my fucking resume in. What now? And you know what? I'm halfway tempted at this point not even to put in my 2 weeks notice. To just walk out. Although, at this point, with how undermanned they're going to be because of how many people they're laying off, and they're trying to be all stealthy about it, but I've fucking noticed. Everybody else has noticed. Hey, where's such and such? Where's so-and-so? Where's who and who? Oh, we haven't seen him around in a while. We haven't seen her around in a while. But I'm capable of basic math, as are most of the people that I work with. I'm not fucking stupid. I know what's going on. And if you want to sit there and say, oh, well, we have these other job sites you can go to. Really? What do they pay? Oh, minimum wage, or $1 or $2 above minimum wage. Oh, really? Wow! Jump for joy! Yay! Let me go work those job sites. Let me throw away the career that I built here so that I can work at an even more unappreciative job site that has more requirements than here. And I'll have supervisors above me breathing down my fucking neck every 10 minutes. Yes, let me go and do that. Please, please sign me up for that job. Please. Fuck you. And this is exactly what I thought was going to happen when this new company moved in and took over here. This is exactly the kind of underhanded tactics that I expected from this company when they first got here. But they didn't do it right away. They waited. They waited and waited. Now, the two guys that got laid off before that should have been hired on as supervisors immediately instead of bringing in all this new meat and training them up from the ground up, which should have happened right there. They waited. They waited until after a few months where people got comfortable, thought this new company was the shit, and they were treating us well. They weren't interfering with our personal lives. They were conforming to the schedule needs that we had. They were even offering to pay for the training that they were requiring. All good, marking off every fucking checkbox to make sure everybody was happy and stayed on to this new regime had solidified their contract with the contractor that had hired us on. And then once they had done that, once they gotten everybody done and used to working for this job site, working at this job site for this company, then they wanted to show their true colors. Then they fucking took the mask off. That's when the truth reared its ugly head, and I knew this shit was gonna happen. But just for the slightest moment of time, like everybody else that had gotten hired on here, I believed that maybe they were different. Maybe I had found the better deal, and the grass was indeed greener on the other side. I talked a lot of shit about this place before, but things heading ever so slowly seemed to get better and better over time. I was getting time off. I got a raise. I was in a supervisory position. All good. Good. Except for my previous rant where I mentioned equipment got broken, but that was the employee's fault, not the employer's. Okay, I understand that. And people that have damaged equipment or have been fuck-ups have been slowly weeded out. Not all of them, but some of them, and that's at least progress over the company that I worked for in the past that took a long time to deal with situations like this. Now, now it doesn't fucking matter whose fault it is. They are firing entire crews of people when something gets broken. Doesn't matter. Oh, something got broken on fifth shift? Everybody's fired. How's that for business? How's that for a good business model, You like that? You like the idea that if Humpty Fumpty breaks a piece of equipment, that your ass gets fired as well as him? Never mind the fact that he's only been working for the company for 4 weeks, and you've been working for them for 4 years. You're fired because he fucked up and you were there. And it doesn't matter that he didn't report the fuck up, and that despite you checking the equipment the way that it was described in your manual, that you couldn't have possibly come across as fuck up, but it still falls on you because you're the supervisor and you're fired. And even in those cases where they break equipment that doesn't even fall into the purview of your work, let's say they go into one of the other shops and they decide that they're going to take a wrench and then they break the wrench. I'm being facetious here. They break a wrench or another piece of equipment, and then they either don't put that piece of equipment back or they do and it's broken, and then later on that month it's found out that the wrench was broken and you were on the job site at that time and you had access to that equipment, and so did they. Guess what? You're both fired. There's no investigation, there's no questioning, there's nothing. There's just, you were there, this was broken, you're both fired. And even if you are one of those people that are consciously minded and you say, hey, I broke this piece of equipment, this is why it happened, or even if it was an act of God thing, like you're fixing a pipe and the wrench explodes and blows your arm off for no reason, well, you're at fault because you were fixing the piece of equipment. So you're fired. Sorry about the arm. And I was told initially when this new company came in and hired on all of us from the old company that I was going to be put into a supervisory role. I was never at any point told that after I'd been promoted to a supervisory role, I'd be kicked back down to a layman. Never. And I certainly didn't expect to go from a supervisory role and be kicked back down to a layman after working for them. And this is 2 years. I keep saying 2 years, but it's actually been longer than 2 years now. I've been working at this job site for over 2 years. It's been 2 years and 4 months now. 5 months, if you count this one. I was never told that. This, according to what I signed, this is a breach of contract. But I can literally guarantee you that the distance that I would go with an argument in this direction, if I tried to argue this position, I would just be let go. Or ignored. One of the two. And in the event that they ignored my argument against my employment status currently, not only would it probably be ignored, I would also probably be denied being reevaluated as a supervisor, being put back into a supervisory role, just for the fact that I brought it up. Now, and we've had, since my last 3 videos, we've had numerous employees that have tried to weasel their way into supervisory roles by fucking brown-nosing, tattletaling, and fucking backstabbing maneuvers. Purposely trying to get their supervisors in trouble so that they can get into a supervisory role themselves. Some of them even so blunt as to be the day after somebody gets fired to be like, so I hear you got a supervisor role open. Minus laughter. I added that in myself. And thank God some of our upper management was smart enough to see that. But what if they weren't? What if they weren't smart enough to see that? Now, evil fucking leprechaun dude or woman decides, now that they're in a position of power, they're gonna start stabbing our shift supervisor in the back, getting for every little fucking thing that they do wrong, and recording everything that they say. This is the kind of work environment that this new company has propagated. Got rid of one of them. One. How many more are there in this company? And this is the thing. We had a perfect crew for this job site. Now, given they had their own individual problems, but as a unit, we worked together very well. We had our own little individual bickering, but it never interfered with the job. This kind of shit interferes with the job. The job that we do is important. This is why you don't fucking battering ram your way into the middle of a contract and say, these are the people I want, these are the people I don't. Boom! Yeah, here's my people, and yeah, here, you bring some of your people over too, and they can kind of do our thing if they fit into our stuff. And if they don't, fuck them. And you know what? We're gonna repeatedly screw them over. We're gonna get them. We're gonna fuck their schedule up. Now, given maybe a lot of this stuff, it wasn't even purposely done, but that doesn't fucking matter. It happened. People got relieved super late, 4 hours late, 8 hours late, had to work double shifts without even knowing about it in the first place. And then after they got there, and they worked these double shifts, then had to be cut out of hours of the following week because they worked extra hours that week. Oh, well, we're trying to do you a favor. Yeah? You're trying to do me a favor? Maybe you could have done us all a favor and scheduled people as our reliefs in the first place and let them know about it, instead of play the guessing game. Instead of having supervisors from our previous company get steamrolled by supervisors from the new company saying contradictory things, and then nothing is done about it. And then when equipment gets broken, everybody throws their hands up in the air like they just don't fucking care, because they obviously don't. And again, nothing is done about it. And they waited 3 months to start giving a fuck. And then when they started giving a fuck, they didn't bother casting the blame on the people that had actually broken the equipment, which was documented. Instead, they cast a net over all of us and said, if something is broken on your shift or around about your shift time, then we're just going to fire the entire crew. That's a great way to handle things. Good job. Excellent deduction. Sherlock fucking Holmes would turn over in his grave if he knew how awesome you were at finding out things. They don't care. Like I said before, they brought out an entire crew unqualified. they had people that had never used this equipment before come out as supervisory roles. Boom, here's a guy, he's a supervisor. Yeah, train him. What do you mean train him? You don't bring in a guy and be like, here's a supervisor, now train him to be a supervisor. What the fuck do you mean train him to be a supervisor? You don't bring out somebody, say, here's a supervisor, now can you please train him to be a supervisor? You bring out somebody with supervisory skills already. That way this shit doesn't happen. But it's too late. There's already hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage to equipment and man hours that's been done. And you know whose fault it is? It ain't fucking mine. It ain't our shift supervisor's fault. It ain't our previous company's fault. Every single one of us is out there doing what we always did. Our job. The way that we were trained to do it. The right way. Not breaking equipment. And despite my problems with these new people coming in, I tried my best to train them how to do what they were supposed to do in the limited amount of time that I had access to them. But now I'm going to be held accountable for their fuck-ups if they fuck up on or about my shift time. What the fuck? And to them it doesn't matter. Because they could fire all of us and just hire around a bunch of whole new yahoos at this point. Because they're the people they brought on from their company at this point, now they know how to use the equipment. Now they know what they're doing. Now they know what they're doing. Now that the damage has been done, they know what they're doing. Well, good job. Woohoo! You have graduated into the ranks of people that should actually be employed here. Fucking achievement unlocked. Good job. You are qualified for the job that you've already been hired to do. And already I'm being reviewed by this new company to see if I am at all liable for damages that has been done to the equipment. Yeah, I'm being reviewed. And at this point, I don't even know if I care so much about retaining my job as I do retaining my credibility, you know, for resume purposes, and not being sued for damages to the equipment, because I'm reasonably certain that in addition to our shifts being cut literally in half, that they are going to be cut into a quarter very soon, and no one else sees this coming. Everyone's like, yeah, well, you know, it happens, whatever. And they don't see the onslaught on the horizon. They don't see what's going to happen. They can't even fathom the possibility, or maybe they just don't want to face the reality, the very real possibility that our shifts are going to be cut down to, we're going to go from, we went from 4 shifts down to 3, then we went from 3 shifts, we're going from 3 shifts down to 2. And with the lull right now, with the winter lull, we're going to be cut down to 1 shift. It's going to happen. And when that happens, we're going to be overmanned here at this job site 200%. And who do you think this new company is going to cut out of the equation? Are they going to cut out their own people that have been working for them for years? Or are they going to cut out the people from the old company that trained on all the new people? Are they going to cut out all the people that never complained, that never said a word against their company, their people? Or are they going to keep all the knob sloppers on, the people that did nothing but praise them, or didn't say anything, or sucked that dick and said how good of a job they did, and I love this new company so much? Are they going to keep those people on? What do you think is going to happen? I can tell you in my limited experience of this company that I'm probably not going to have a job here very much longer. And neither will some of the best supervisors that they have, the ones that have been out here the longest and know their jobs. because they don't care about having seasoned people out here anymore. I don't think they ever fucking cared about that. Insofar as having them out here for the long haul. As long as they could be manipulated, as long as they didn't speak out against the new people, as long as they just sucked that corporate knob, maybe they'd have a chance. I foresee maybe one or two of the current supervisors out here staying, and I'm probably not one of them. Because I've called them out on their bullshit every time. Every time they bring out some unqualified Yahoo out there and they damage a piece of equipment, I write a report on it. That's what would have happened with my old company. That's the way I do things now. And the way that I see things going since I've started working with this new company, and even before they started damaging equipment, they already started the mudslinging. They already started the little nitpicky complaints. Oh, well, so-and-so got relieved 10 minutes early. So-and-so got to leave. I got relieved 10 minutes late. No, you didn't, fucktards. There's a 15-minute window wherein you get relieved or you relieve somebody. 15 minutes. And some people got relieved at the 2-minute mark. Other people got relieved at the 10-minute mark. Other people got relieved at right on the 15-minute mark. And these people fucking were complaining that some people got relieved at the 2-minute mark and other people got relieved at the 14-minute mark. That's what they were fucking complaining about. And they raised this huge shitstorm over this. Even though, technically, we could come in, like, on the hour and still be on time. Coming in 15 minutes early is a courtesy. It's a fucking courtesy. You do it so that other people can go home early. That's it. It's not even written down in paper anywheres or digitally. It's not written down anywhere, so we have to do that. It's something that we've done as a courtesy. But fucking Joe Schmo Humpty Fumpty decided he was gonna repeatedly complain about not being relieved when everybody else was. And as a result of that, now we have a static time that we have to come in, and we cannot check in before or after this time. Good fucking job, fucking Yahoo ass clown fucktard. Good job. Because you felt entitled to your 15 minutes of fame. Fuck you. You fucking entitled pricks. You know what? When this new company came in, I knew things were going to change. I knew that I was going to have to change my mentality, and for the most part, I believe that I did. I expounded my patience to the point where to my maximum, as far as I'm concerned. And now I'm at the point right now where I am again standing on the precipice of my level of patience. Where people's stupidity and the ineptitude of the company that I am working for are starting to approach that threshold yet again. And on top of that, now I am looking at a decrease in pay based on nothing that I have done wrong, but based on the numbers of people that we have out here and the hours that we have to give out. And I'm to believe that I'm a victim of circumstance in all of this. Well, I can't swallow that pill. And if they expect me to stay in this position for very long without saying or doing something to change my circumstance,